Well, welcome back to the Awakening Potential Show. It's your gateway to the extraordinary. I'm your host, Karen Rudolph, and I'm here to support you in stepping into your sassy confidence, your classy wisdom, and your bold, badassy brilliance, because awakening your potential isn't just a moment, it's a movement. So we're here to dive into powerful stories, soul-stirring tools, game-changing strategies, and that spark transformation in your life, in your work, and in your business and the world around you. So grab a notebook, open your heart, and light that inner spark. Today, I'm beyond excited to introduce you to somebody who truly is on the journey and making a difference out there in the world. So, a warm, warm, warm welcome to Mercy Bruce Amanquah. I said it right.
You've got it. You got it.
Every little bit is a celebration. So we got to
You
celebrate when
got
we're
it.
back.
Yes. Mhm.
Mercy is the founder and CEO of the Francis Faki Amanquah Foundation. Did I get that right? I hope
That's
so.
right.
All right.
Yes.
Two for two.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And she's going to tell us about what this foundation is about. But before she tells us about that, she started this program following the death of her husband in his memory. And I'm really excited to hear more about what that's about. But before we even go there, first and foremost, Mercy, welcome, welcome, welcome to the Awakening Potential Show. And it's such a pleasure to have you here. I know you and I met in Miami at a keynote speaking event. And
Yes.
it was just such a connection I felt there with you. So I'm grateful that you said yes to being here with me today. And tell us, if you would, a little bit about before, like what were you doing, like when you were growing up? Did it relate to where you are today? Did you ever expect yourself to be where you are today, kind of thing? Or, share a little bit about your background if you want.
Okay. Thank you so much, Karen. It's wonderful to be here. And we've been talking about this for a while. So I'm glad we can do it in this wonderful month of November, Thanksgiving month. We have a lot to be grateful for. You talked about my background. I'm from Ghana originally and West Africa. And I grew up in a family of women. I have four sisters, and my father, I would say, maybe a bit ahead of his time, said to my mom, "We are going to educate them, and they can do whatever they want to do." So I grew up with that in mind. I never thought I couldn't do whatever I want to do. But I've always been an advocate for women, even or girls and women from a very young age. So I never quite saw myself doing something like this, but I've always been a supporter and would always stick my neck out for women and girls.
So
Yes.
what was it that inspired you to stick your neck out for women and girls? Was there an experience, something happened that inspired you to step into being an advocate for women and girls?
Not to me personally. I mentioned my father. My father was an engineer, and so he was in a field where there weren't a lot of women. I have a sister who's also an engineer, and quite two sisters in STEM actually. And so, coming from that background and that support for him, I think for me, it was women having being independent and having a voice and being able to determine their lives or not having to be dependent on anybody else. So I've always felt that women should be able to be themselves, speak for themselves, choose whether they want to be here or not, and it shouldn't be dependent on anybody else.
Right.
And that has always been my thing from childhood.
Nice. So what did you do following that? You started growing up. Did you go to school knowing that you were going to support women, or where were you?
No, not really. So I went to an all girls school and all the way until A level until I went to college. By now I had moved to the UK where I studied, and it wasn't really, it was just I stuck my neck out whenever I thought a woman wasn't being treated fairly. Oh, my thesis for my master's degree was on sexual harassment in the workplace, and now I'm talking how many years ago? Quite a while back. So it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't really the norm. So it's kind of has always been in my DNA in a sense, certainly not knowing that I will end up being in the place where that's what I was working on. I just so happened, I finished school, I went to work, and as always, maybe not consciously, but looked out for how I could support women. And as I grew up and journeyed the world, I joined organizations or volunteered in areas where I would support women and girls. And once again, like I said, it's more of a D&D thing. I just jump onto it before I think back and think, oh, this is what it is in terms of relation to that topic. But yes.
Very cool. Very
Mm.
cool. So, after that, then what happens?
Okay, so in all of this, I get married to the love of my life. I have two daughters, and we but I told you I studied in the UK. I came back to Ghana and got married in Ghana to Francis and had the two girls. And then we moved to Zimbabwe, which is southern Africa,
Mhm.
and to work. And so stayed there for a number of years. Whilst I was there, I was on the board of a nonprofit that supported young girls to stay in school, to feminine products, financially, school fees, that kind of thing. So I did that for a number of years. It was called Hope Initiative. From Zimbabwe, we moved to the States um, 12 years ago. So my family and I moved to the States 12 years ago. We moved to Florida for the weather. And, life kind of continued on its merry way. And I don't know what, maybe about 8 years ago, my life took a bit of a turn outside of the unexpected. But that's how I got here. And we had moved, we were settling in. We moved to the States really. I mentioned that I have two daughters, and we thought for more opportunities for them.
Right.
And so we were here, and we had, kind of settling in, finding your feet. My husband had the dream job. We were really getting on with it, and then we find out he has pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
And so, I mean, obviously, you take a pause and, oh,
Absolutely.
how does my life change like that? So, um, we were lucky. It took 3 years after treatment and remission back again. He passed away in 2020. In the just when COVID had
Mhm.
started,
Yeah.
and nobody really knew. what anything was at the time. And um, I have a funeral with 10 people and including myself and my two girls, and we are wondering, God, how did we get here? This was not the plan, and this was not what we were expecting. Um, but I mean, as we all know, cancer had been very hard on all of us, and by the time he passed, it was, this is it was you could see it coming, but you were praying and hoping that um, he would make it. And so he passes during COVID. The world was kind of on pause, and everybody's wondering what next. And we are all trying to keep ourselves safe. So we huddled, my daughters and I, and in a in a sense, it was good for us because the three of us could be together to mourn. But that was also very strange for me in the sense that family couldn't come. I mean, nobody could come. We all know how it was. People will be leaving food at your doors and nobody could come be with you. But I think it's helped us also in the beginning of the healing process. Once the borders were open and life was beginning to get more what you call normal, I went back to Ghana for some time. At the time, my mom was alive, so um, I went to mommy. I went to mommy to be comforted and get healing and all of that. And kind of was debating, did I want to move back at the time? And so it was a bit of a competition between my mother and my daughters, but felt my daughters probably needed me a lot more than my mom did. So I came back, and when I came back, I went through a few months of struggle.
Sure.
I just didn't know what to do. I think that's when the grieving really started, and in praying and asking God, you must have a plan. We can't bring us all here. You must have a plan. Francis passed at age 55. He was so young, and I just thought there had to be more. And so as I prayed and just tried so much to say, get out of this darkness. Um, I woke up one morning and it came to me. A friend had spoken to me about doing something in his honor or what other people were doing. And so I woke up this morning and I thought, oh, he was very much he was passionate about education and girls. And I mentioned to you before, I was very much an advocate for women. He was an IT professional, was very much into anything automation. So then I thought, how about I put these things together, which he was passionate about, into giving back to society in his memory that would give me something to channel my energies into. So I thought his alma mater, which is the Kwame Nkrumah University for Science and Technology in Ghana, women or young women, IT. So I came up with those three pillars and set up the Francis Fakir Amanquah Foundation to support young women studying computer science and computer engineering in his alma mater who needed financial assistance.
Love that. I love
Yes, my third baby was born,
There you go.
and it gave me something to just channel all these heads into, but doing something that was beyond the two of us and making a difference in other people's lives.
And that is the key. That to me is what awakening potential is all about. I mean, you
Mm,
have an experience, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm
mm,
sorry that the loss at such an early age.
mm,
And yet you came out of the ashes of that and
mm.
created something beautiful that wasn't about you, but it was about something that's going to really touch the lives of the world. That's what I'm talking about. I love that. Love, love, love that. So tell us a little bit about the foundation and, where it's at now and, perhaps something that you need. It's always nice to ask. You
Okay.
never know who's listening, but
Re-
again, all of just for the listening audience, all of Mercy's contact information as well as the foundation information will be in the show notes. So do look at that, do reach out to her if this is something that resonates with you for sure. But please go on.
Yes. So we support young women with bright, talented young women with a financial need in these areas. Why these areas? Like I mentioned before, Francis was an IT professional. And so that's why I went for computer science and computer engineering. I usually say we're supporting women in STEM because this falls under. And so we support these women going into second year of a 4-year degree course. So we go for second year, we want to be sure they really want to go for computer science or computer engineering. They have accumulated weighted average of 70 points or more, and they can prove a financial need. It's not something that we go really far into checking, but the university can confirm that indeed they need the support. We support them with tuition, accommodation, a monthly stipend, and a laptop. After all, they are IT young women. And then we assign them to women in STEM as mentors. And so the research has shown that one of the reasons why we have such a low percentage of women in these STEM areas is because they don't have enough role models. So the foundation is also trying to improve that awareness. We assign them to these women and they help them not only with their academics but also with life in general. So we started putting the infrastructure, the legal into place in about 2022. And so it is registered, the foundation is registered in the US as a 501c3 and is registered in Ghana also as a nonprofit. Currently, all operations are in Ghana. We have 10 beneficiaries at the moment, and that's made up of 2 cohorts. We started the inaugural cohort in 2024, and this year we awarded 6 beneficiaries. So our first cohort should be graduating in 2026. And yes, and so that is very exciting. And in terms of assistance, obviously financial assistance, and anybody who wants to partner and speak into this, we are looking at putting together an alumni program so that not only do they graduate from our program, but how can we assist them after they're done? In Ghana, once you have graduated university, there's a 1 year, it's called national service, and you are assigned to organizations or the government to work. So ideally, our alumni program will be looking at life after this national service and maybe just finding ways to assist them further, and then hopefully they can also get into the kinds of jobs to come back to be mentors and also be donors of the foundation. So
Right.
that, yes, that's where we are right now, looking for partners, looking for donors, looking for people that this
Love
resonates
that.
with. Yes. in support of women and girls. Yes, internationally. Yeah.
I love it. See how it comes full circle. It comes full circle all the time. And
Yes.
I'm sure even though you're doing this in Ghana, it's also rippling, the ripple effect ripples here as well,
Mhm.
all across the world. So I really, acknowledge you and lift you in the space of coming out of the ashes. You've now created something that gives back and
Mhm.
touches many lives from the hurt and pain for sure. And, it's never easy going through that hurt and pain. And when we
Mhm.
look beyond, so I'm curious, what did you do for yourself to overcome that pain? Because maybe some of the listeners are, who are listening are going through their own challenges right now. Is there something that really supported you? Was it looking more towards giving back, or what was it for you that really sparked?
Um, I think for me, my my relationship with God and knowing, like I mentioned before, that he had to have a plan. I couldn't accept that this would just happen in life. There had to be more to it in my mind than this.
Right.
So there was a lot of prayer and God, what are you doing, or what are you asking to do? And you mentioned the ashes. I thought that, I mean, what is it you want me to do with these ashes? We have moved to the US with all these dreams, and here I am. But we were going to retire together and travel, and he would play golf and I would read, I guess. I would, the life, and all of a sudden, here we are. So I believed, I think that was the only way I could survive this. I needed to believe that there was more, and God had to have a plan. And so there was that. I did a lot of grief counseling, and also there was a program called Grief Share, and that's grief counseling, um, the Christian way, if you like, or based on biblical principles. So I got onto that very, very quickly. And then once I got to that place of the determination that we're going to put together the foundation, then it's all your energies, or all my energies went into that. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, difficult path, but I could channel that energy into that. And as long as I was doing that, you almost forget why you are doing that. You see the smiles of these women. I tell you, Karen, that I think that does it for me all the time.
I always,
Yes, we interview them. We use an app to interview them, and so they video their responses. And the first time I saw them, oh, and whenever I see them, and it's God help me make a change in their lives so they can change, others' lives and the lives in their communities and the world. And like you said, that ripple effect. I'll tell you, one of our beneficiaries left our program because she got accepted into Lehigh University in Philadelphia. And you are like, wow, Lehigh picked one of our scholars. We must be doing something. And
love
so
that.
yeah, it's wonderful to see. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. And then all of a sudden, it's not about Francis and me. It's just we are a conduit, and
Yeah,
you forget that. But what's this difference we can make, and how to multiply it and grow that?
love that.
And yeah, that makes the difference. I like to think he looks down and smiles about all of this. Yeah.
I'm sure he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure he is. So what would you say your superpower is? What's your gift?
Oh, I like talking. I like interacting with people. And I mentioned women. There's always this thing about helping helping women. Helping women be independent. I think that's the tagline for me. Helping women be themselves, not have to rely on anybody, and being able to say, I want to travel. I want to go to the moon. I want to read a book. I want to just sit here and have coffee. For me, it's that. And that, and I think everything I do, when you go deep in the underlining, it's that. And that's the same thing I want to see for myself. I want to go on that cruise. It will be lovely to have someone to do it with. But if I don't, I can pick up my passport, park, and go and have a good time. And yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing all of that
Mm,
and your vulnerability as well, for
mm,
sure. Yeah, for me, vulnerability really touches lives on such a different level, and you've
mhm,
been so authentic with that and your
mm.
shares. So I really appreciate that, as do our listeners. I'm speaking for them. What is, I always ask before we leave, I always ask, um, my guests, like what I call them pearls of wisdom. What's the one pearl of wisdom that you want to leave the listening audience with?
I've always liked this saying, do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. And let's be kind to one another. You know, in today's world, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Mercy, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of the Awakening Potential show and sharing
Mm,
your wisdom with us. And I really felt your passion and excitement behind
mm,
what you're doing.
mm,
Again, all of your information and contact will be in the show notes. So for those of you listening, please reach out.
mm.
And Mercy, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Karen. I'm glad I was able to make it and for just giving me this platform to share a bit of my story and what's going on in my journey right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Something tells me the journey is not over. There's more to come. So
Oh
as
yeah,
you
oh
come back,
yeah, oh
share the
yes.
next level for us. So I'm
Yes,
sure we'll
next
talk about
level. What's happening? Next level. Yes.
that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So for those of you reaching out, Mercy Bruce and Amenquah, excuse me.
Got it.
I
Uh,
am gonna get it's just gonna roll off my tongue,
yes,
sooner than
yes.
later. But your story is such a beautiful reminder that transformation begins the moment we become aware, and it continues with those brave, badassy steps that we choose to take. And you definitely made a choice. So thank you so much. And again, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for
You're
having me.
Absolutely. And to the listening audience, remember the bridge from ordinary to extraordinary is built with small steps of change and bigger leaps of faith. So you're more than you know, and keep showing up, keep rising, and keep awakening your potential. And if today's episode sparked something within inside of you, let's explore it together. Reach out to me, put the word awaken in the notes, and I will be the one to reach out to you. And as I'm sure Mercy will as well, if you reach out to her. Till then, make it an amazing day. Stay sassy, stay classy, and keep being your badassy self.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Thank you, Karen.